Hey guys, I hope you all crispy and crunchy. It's CerealMaty here and welcome back to Doki Love and Literature, and we are about to read some brand new, never seen poems. Yay! So let's do this. The first one is called Flowers by Sayori Ahsoka. The petals drip down into a dark puddle, splashes of color swirling my eyes. I collect them and hold them all close. Their sweet smell entrancing me. The smell fades. The petals dry out and crumble. I walk back to the floor. Only there is no more color. The flowers have died. Only the lingering smell of death remains. Okay. Nah! Stop! Fuck! No! No! Not this bullshit again! I disappointed her, didn't I? Man! I bet she wrote that last part after I agreed with Natsuki on assisting her, and not Sayori. Fuck. Matty? I glance up from Sayori's paper. What did you think? I pause. It's very, well, it's not what I expected you to write. It's a tad dark, don't you think? Yeah. She drew circles on the desk with her finger. I wanted to, well, try something different. Yuri's poem was sort of similar to this, and I wanted to try and make my own version of that. Oh, well, it certainly got across a lot of emotions. It's very weighty. Thank you. You could say the same about your poem, Matty. It had a lot of emotions driving it too. Thanks. I stood up. Thanks for sharing. Sayori just smiled. Fuck. And I didn't even mention the last line. Or I didn't even think about it. Is this last line even real? Or can my character even see that? Or is it only supposed to be seen by me? Or the player? Huh. Monika was sitting down at the teacher's desk, tapping away at her small laptop. Behind her on the whiteboard, I could see a couple of equations and assorted numbers scrawling with the green marker. I wonder what she was working on. She glanced up and immediately shut her laptop. Oh, hey, sorry, I was just working on something for my coding class. She gestured to scrawlings on the paper. That's what all that is. I shared a laugh. Hey, that's cool. Looks pretty complicated. She sighed and pushed her laptop aside. It really is. Our instructor is making us write out our own little program as a final grade before break, and it's driving me nuts. If I flop with this, I could ruin my grade. It could ruin my grade. I see. Well, hopefully you can get that all figured out. Then again, what's someone like you have to worry about? Yeah. I'm sure you'll create something better than anyone in your class could. Monika looked up at me, those pretty emerald eyes shining. Thank you, Matty. That means a lot. You sure do have a way to make a girl feel a certain way, huh? She laughed and I blushed. Anyways, poems. Monika hands me the paper. Hands the paper to me. Hiroshima. Oh, shite. By Monika Selke. My breathing is shallow, the air is too thin. People are screaming, I think they might win. My vision is blurry, my heart rate is slow. No therapy can save me from what I've seen. What happened? It's all nuclear. Was that a play on words, that nuclear? It's all something like not clear, it's nuclear. Maybe. Why Hiroshima? Monika's statement earlier was right. She should be proud of this one. Okay. It was, from what I gathered, a portrayal of the victim of the Hiroshima nuclear bombing in 1945. Staggering around the ruined city, blinded and dying. Knowing, but also not knowing what happened to them and their home. 70 years later, and it's still a touchy subject. But Monika captured its essence perfectly. Wow, that was moving. I wasn't expecting something like this. You captured the emotions of that day very well. Thank you. She went silent for a moment. I didn't really enjoy writing it, but I felt inspired by it after doing some research on the bombings for my history class. Just something I felt should be written, so I took the chance with this being our last poems to share. Forever? Last poems forever? An awkward silence. How would you know? Or the last poems before the festival. She pointed to my paper. Hopefully yours isn't as depressing. I handed her my paper. She quickly started reading it, her eyes going across each line. After a while, she spoke up. Do you mind if I say something about it? I shrugged. Sure, I'm open to criticism. It's not a criticism, but... She leaned in slightly, her voice quieter. Is this a love poem? I blushed again, and I could feel myself start to sweat. What? No, you totally misinterpreted that. I laughed awkwardly. What makes you say that? Monika smiled. Don't worry, Matty. I won't spill your secret, but you did make it kinda obvious with your word usage. It's very cute though. It's a clever way to admit how you feel to me. I freeze. Huh? Hey! Monika bursted out laughing. Heard the ribbon in her hair bouncing slightly. Heard the ribbon? Probably her ribbon or the ribbon. That new pose, I like it. I really like it. Yeah, you look very intellectual, if I might say that. I'm just kidding, Matty. I couldn't help but join the laugh. Yeah. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Well, thank you for that. I take my paper back. Monika gave me a laughing smile, but it didn't help with putting me at ease. One thought troubled me. If she doesn't think I wrote it for her, who does she think I wrote it for? Look at her grin. I turned around. Natsuki probably 2 inches away from you. Practically hopping, I walked over to Natsuki's usual spot, tucked away in the back corner desk. She was once again nose deep. Fucking noses. Nose deep in Parfait Girls, her eyes intently reading the pages. Atop her desk was the manga box set from the closet. Hey! She glanced up from her Parfait Girls volume. Hey! I pointed down at the desk in front of hers. Mind if I sit there? Here? Well, of course not, dummy! What are you gonna do, just stand there all day? I chuckled, setting my bag down on the floor. Is that the next volume I'm supposed to read? I pointed to the book in her hands. Yeah, so? I was just rereading it. I smiled. Cool. I do that sometimes, especially when it's a good series. Better than just letting it sit and collect dust on my shelf. Natsuki looked back up, gently pushing the volume down. You have a collection? She seemed surprised. Yeah, complete editions. I have it tucked away above my desk. It's only a couple of my favorite series that I've read over the years, though it's probably not as big as your collection. She glanced away. Actually, Parfait Girls is the only physical collection I have. What? Why? It's kind of surprising she doesn't actually own her series. Not that I'm making fun of her, but it's usually what people, well, my friends at least, do. Physical or digital. Who cares? Mind your own business. Annoyance laced her voice. Fuck. Alright. I pause. Hey, also... She paused, adjusting the Parfait Girls volume. I need to give you my number so we can start planning for Sunday. I nodded. Sure, no problem. I quickly pulled out my phone and opened my contacts. What is it? I slowly rattled off her number to me, waiting for me to finish the inputting the digits. Hiccups. I added her and put my phone away. Don't make me regret it. I laughed. Don't worry. I ran my finger along the edge of the desk. My mind wandered back to this morning and how I got to finish the Parfait Girls volume just barely before the first bell. I dug into my bag and carefully pulled out the volume, holding it up to her. So anyway, since we've already shared poems, do you want to get back to Parfait Girls? Oh yeah, we already shared the episode before last episode. Jesus. Her eyes lit up. Oh, yeah! She swooped up the manga box set and stood up from her desk. She made a motion with her head to follow her, walking down towards an empty spot against the wall, next to the closet door. She brushed off a spot on the ground and placed a box set there. She sat down and patted the spot next to her, beckoning me to join her. I bent down on one knee and took a spot next to her. Hi! Running her fingers along the bindings of the volume, she slipped the previous book back into its holder and handed me hers. She grabbed the next volume and opened it up, immediately starting to read. I looked up. Sayori was sitting in a chair on the window by the teacher's desk, where Monika was facing the whiteboard, scribbling new equations onto the board. I opened up my volume and began to read. Several hours later. You really look tired, Natsuki. My heart pounded in my chest. She was right there. Like, it's almost like she was real. It's almost like she sat next to me. Oh my god. I can't imagine it. Yeah. She sat with her legs tucked next to her chest. Sunlight gleamed through the windows, reflecting in the hair, giving her an almost angelic glow. I thumbed to the next page, taking the intricately drawn art. Credit to whoever wrote this style is very cute. Almost reminds me of a cross between typical 1990s Sailor Moon and styles and more chibi pop team epic. Interesting blend that works really well. I can smell her on me. With such a vibrant and dizzying scent. Like strawberries and what I imagine rainbows would smell like. Like rain, probably. Call me creep, but it's about how I expected her to smell like. Actually, good question. How do I imagine her to smell like? I've never asked myself that before. How would you? And why would you? I mean, okay, I won't judge you if you do so. Because, okay, let's face it, people think about other, by far worse topics than how the Doki smell, but still. Yeah, so pleasant. I continue to read. At this part of the story, one of the girls has a crush on a boy who works at a sweet shop at the mall, and the other three girls are following her around on her date with the boy, and without moving my head, I glance over to Natsuki. She had her own volume open on her lap, but she wasn't reading it. She was intently looking over at my own volume, unmoving. I cleared my throat. You okay, Natsuki? She seemed startled. She clutched the edge of her own volume. Yeah, what's up? She pushed back a strand of her pink hair behind her ear. I shook my head. Nothing, just seemed like you were more interested in my volume than your own. Well, it's just, I mean, that's a good part, and I wanted to see your reaction. Why did it get brighter all of a sudden? That's all. What's wrong with that? I toned back my voice. Hey, nothing's wrong. I do the same thing when I'm introducing my friends to a new series. I'm curious as to how they react to some of my favorite parts. I nudged her on the shoulder. You're fine. She blushed and turned away. Thanks, Matty. I adjusted myself in my spot. Don't mention it. I looked up and almost froze. Through the rows and rows of desks, Sayori was silently watching me. Ah, shite! First of all, kind of creepy, but secondly, no, poor Sayori. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I know what I mean to you, and I completely ruined it. Not like buggy eyes or something or anything, but just silently watching me from her desk. An almost dead stare, unsmiling. Out of instinct, I waved. She took a second before she waved back, almost excitedly. Smile spread across her face before she looked down at her phone, now distracted. Oh my god, she is so jealous, I swear. Slowly, I returned to the manga. Alright, that was kind of weird. How long was she looking at me, I wonder? Probably not long, a couple of seconds. I wonder what she thinks of me and Natsuki being so close together. Is she threatened? there is no real reason to be. I shake these thoughts away. Back to Parfait Girls. You can think about all that later. Good night, Natsuki. You look as if you could fall asleep right any second. 15, 20, 30 minutes passed. I finished the volume fairly quickly and ending up discussing my thoughts with Natsuki afterward. It was nice, mostly because she was very passionate about the series. And it's always fun to talk to people who have a deep love for their art. Very refreshing, sharp contrast from the usual faceless nobody wannabe fans I find on the internet comment sections. I watched as the hands of the clock slowly reached 5 o'clock. On cue, Monika's phone started buzzing an alarm, which she quickly grabbed to shut it off. She stood up, her laptop bag regular bag slung on her shoulders. Well, that's the bell. Thank you for showing up today, everyone. Now, I want everyone to start thinking about what you want to work on tomorrow, because that's all we're going to be doing next meeting. Everyone nodded in acknowledgement and started to grab their things. I stood up and dusted myself off. I shook my hands out to Sayori. I stuck my hands out to Sayori. Natsuki, who gingerly grabbed it and boosted herself up. I swear, Sayori mind-washed me. She did it on purpose. She was watching me, and by doing so, she kind of opened my head and put her name inside it and deleted Natsuki's. Conspiracy theory. There you go. There you have something to discuss about. Her cheeks went hot, and I couldn't help but smile. Look at her innocent smile. Oh, Matty. Monika shouted my name from the back of the room. I still need you to add to the group. Need to add you to the group chat. Remember? I reached down to grab my bag and walked over to where Monika was at. Sayori was busy getting her purse together. Apparently, she made herself busy by cleaning it. I pulled up my messaging app and handed Monika my unlocked phone, who quickly started tapping away. In a few beats, she handed it back, and I felt my phone start to buzz from the new notifications. Natsuki drifted away from me and met with Sayori, who was already waiting to leave by the door. They both turned and smiled at me. Text me whenever you get home so we can start planning right away, okay? Alright. I started to unbutton my blazer. The weather outside looked cooler than it did earlier, and I was hoping to get a nice breeze or two. I folded my blazer over my arm. And start reading the next volume so we can get back to it faster. Then we could start reading more on Sunday. That is, if you wanted to. I started to undo my tie as well. Sayori waited patiently for Natsuki to finish talking before speaking. Matty, are you still gonna walk home with me? I couldn't help but detect a hint of desperation in her voice. Did she think I was gonna ditch her for Natsuki? I wouldn't do that. Well, if that opportunity came up, I would let her know beforehand. But still. Well, yeah. You thought I was gonna ditch you? No, I was just double checking. Natsuki gave a curious look to Yuri, but said nothing. Monika swiped her bag off the chair and dangled a pair of keys in her hand. Ready to leave? Yep, apparently we are. We all stepped outside and went our separate ways, Natsuki tagging with Monika and Sayori walking with me the opposite way down the hall. Bye guys! Sayori and I turned and waved. Natsuki had her headphones already in and almost didn't notice, but she turned and waved goodbye at the last second. We locked eyes for a moment. Text me, she mouthed at me. Whoa! Now she's flirting! Oh fuck, Sayori. The walk home was rather uneventful. The whole stroll back, I tried to figure out how Sayori was feeling. Even so, she still seemed to be her usual bright self, talking about her plans for the festival and how excited she was for the free food they were gonna serve. Eventually, I gave up trying. I walked Sayori to her door, hugged her goodbye, and made my way home. Great! By the time I got home, sunset was beginning to streak across the sky. It looked beautiful. I unlocked the door. As expected, the lights were dimmed, which I switched on, and something was weeping on the stovetop. I glanced into the pot. Looked like shabu shabu, a nice water-based meat and vegetable dish. Hungrily, I grabbed an empty bowl and ladled some of the dish into the bowl. I snatched another Ramune soda. God, I love those things. And hurriedly took everything upstairs. Nice. I pushed open the door with my foot and set my bag down at the foot of my bed. Oh, shit, I forgot to look at the time. Alright, actually, I think this is not that bad of a spot to leave it here. I mean, I think the chapter is about to end in some lines, but unfortunately I have to go now. But I think the main stuff already happened, so yeah. Alright. By that, I mean, actually, I want to end this episode here. Thank you guys for watching it. And if you liked it, tell me somehow, as always. And I'll see you all in the next video.